like it because you're continuing.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I like meeting the people. I like giving back to my community.
Now, Deborah, why did you join Rotary?
Well, it was a chance to give back to Rotary for some of the things that they gave to me. I was first introduced to Rotary through a colleague in our community ambulance corps, and he introduced me to Rotary Youth Exchange. And as a non-Rotarian, asked if my husband and I would be interested in hosting an exchange student. We did. I was also asked to apply for GSE. I was accepted, and I had a wonderful vocational visit to the country of Taiwan where I met even more wonderful Rotarians. And this just seemed to me to be an organization of people with big hearts, a real sense of community amongst themselves and within their communities, and in very, very, very small numbers, oftentimes able to do really big things. And I really liked all of that. And I felt very much a part of Rotary as a non-Rotarian. So it just made sense to say, wow, I wonder how much better it would be if I could be a Rotarian. And the rest is history.
That's great. We have a young Taiwanese person that is our exchange student, inbound exchange student, and he's really going through some culture shock right now, but he's going to make it. He's fabulous. Deb, can you tell us why you joined Rotary?
Actually, I was invited to join Rotary. I was at the time I was working for a nonprofit, and they had asked me to join Rotary because they were looking for younger members. I was very hesitant because I didn't know a lot about Rotary. So I asked a lot of questions. And then I attended a meeting, and some of our Rotarians had just got back from a trip to Bolivia, where they were working on a project, which is still an ongoing project. Well, their passion, so that's definitely one word we can use is passion, lit a fire in me, and I decided it was something I wanted to do. At the time, I believe I was probably the youngest person in the room, which I still am one of the youngest people in the room. But I just saw the difference that they were beginning to make. And now I have been in Rotary for, I'm going on my 4th year, and I'm going to go to Bolivia this year. So
wonderful.
It was very inspirational. And I did a lot of it because I was working for a nonprofit. There were business leaders there. I could network with them. I was, working in nonprofit. We all know that we have to do the duty of asking for funds and asking people for money. Well, there were people there that could definitely help me with my organization. So it was a big networking. And then now it just turned into, now it's family.
That's sort of what happened to me too. I was the head of a rather large nonprofit in Fort Worth, where they just assumed that you would join Rotary. That was just one of the things you do. Yeah, you did, and it was very prestigious to be a part of Rotary. But I found after all of that, I found all the people to be so nice, so dedicated. And then last year, I got to go to Guatemala with a project that's led by our club. Anybody else been abroad? Deborah, did you say you've been abroad?
Yes, thanks to Rotary's GSE program, which is no longer. I went on an adult exchange with a group of other non-Rotarians and a Rotary leader, and spent 5 weeks in Taiwan learning about Rotary in Taiwan.
Wow.
What some of the work is that they do there, living in homes of 5 local families, so I was not there as a tourist, and learning a lot about education, culture, and business, doing vocational visits that were geared to my business at the time. which was health and wellness in the American Red Cross, and as an avocation, emergency medical services. So it was wonderful, and it's an opportunity that really was once in a lifetime. And I began to see that Rotary literally reached everywhere. And it was through clubs as small as 10 or 15 or 25 people, all the way up to clubs that had hundreds. And I belonged to both small clubs and big clubs.
That brings me to something that's really important too in this part that you're sharing, is that even small clubs can be a part of the Rotary world and experience that just by donating funds to an international project. And that's what really makes my heart start to beat fast and gives me passion about all the things that we do. I'm going to stop sharing right now, Mary. But we're going to come back to these things. Colleagues invited me to give back to the community, GSE, sense of community, doing good things. That's all a part of it that makes us feel so good. It makes me feel re-enthused every time that I go to my Rotary meeting on Thursday. Ours is Thursday at noon. There you go. Now, did it go away?
No.
No? Didn't go away?
No.
Okay.
I think. Give up remote control. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
I just didn't click confidently enough on that one part.
Well, and I didn't give it up, so.
So she doesn't give up easily. We all know that, though. Have you noticed any benefits that you've gotten from being a part of a Rotary community, your particular Rotary club? I see them every day as far as the friendships and things like that, but how do you feel you've benefited? Deb?
Well, like I just mentioned earlier, I'm going to get the opportunity to travel internationally, which is something that I've never done before. So that's, to me right now, one of the biggest rewards that I'm personally getting out of that. And then I'm actually able to take my fiance with me. So,
Wow.
So we're excited.
Now, when will that be, your trip to Bolivia?
We are tentatively scheduling it for the first week or two of April.
Wonderful. Bill, how about you? Do you get benefits other than, getting maybe some business or something? I don't know what to.
Yeah, in fact, since I'm relatively new to Carlsbad, this was a good way for me to learn about the community. And I even opened up my big mouth at one of the meetings, got appointed to a Citizens Police Advisory Board. So it's sort of amazing that the folks you meet have different areas of interest in the community, and they share that with you, and you find out that you may have similar interests. So
That is so true. That is so true. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten involved in something from my Rotary friends. Deborah?
Well, I think one of the great benefits is just fellowship on a regular basis with like-minded people, which is very important. But I think one of the bigger benefits is the ability to take my two hands and join them with a bunch of other people that have two hands and make big things happen in the community that none of us could have achieved or even with just our own two hands. And I think that's the biggest benefit I've gained from being a member of any Rotary Club.
I agree so totally. There are, it's nice to know too that, excuse me, I've lost my screen here. It's nice to know too that, I'm having a little difficulty. Just 1 second. Can you all see me?
you're coming across fine.
Okay, great. I seem to have lost you. In our community, we do so many things, but it's nice to know that we live in a world out there. We're really a global community, as you can probably tell from the happenings in the stock market today. And let's talk about a little bit about our Rotary community, our Rotary world. I don't know how much you know already about it. Many of you may know a lot more than I, but let's talk about So I have a little slide here I want to show you. As soon as I get my Rotary back, I'll be able to share it with you. Okay, Jeff, what have I done?
What?
Just a second, I can get us back, but I just need to. You can see me, but I can't see you, so it makes it difficult.
Are you in gallery view?
No, I just was trying to put something up here, my little inverted triangle, and I lost all of you. So.
Do you still have the share screen at your bottom?
No. Let me see. Let me see if I do. No, I've lost it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hold on a second. I know where I can get it back. Well,
You may have minimized the window so it's only the speaker, and if so, when you bring your cursor
There we
over
go.
that window, you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. But here's something that you've probably seen before. I'm sure it's in your handbook, and that is this inverted triangle. Let's
You
go.
need to share your screen, Cheryl.
I'm just getting ready to do that.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Can you see it?
On the left side, yep.
All right, right beside me. I'm sure all of you have heard by now that there's 1.2 million Rotarians in over 34,000 clubs. That mesmerizes me. So, Deb, when you go to Bolivia, you got to have your choice of where you can go. Maybe if your time allows, you can go to clubs there, and you're a part of that club and the work that we're doing worldwide.
And Cheryl, if
Yes.
I might add to this, in a couple of weeks, I'm taking a personal trip to South Africa.
Oh, wow.
And I was able to connect with a couple of ladies in Cape Town. And I'm going to have dinner with them and go out and see one of their projects. So here the world becomes smaller just by a personal trip.
Smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, why do we can feel a part of this bigger collaboration in the world, but let's look at districts. We've got 500 districts, and that just makes a lot of people ask, well, why do we have a district? Why do you think we have a district? 500 districts, and I think ours is pretty large. It goes from Fort Stockton up to Farmington. That's pretty covers a lot of territory and brings in a lot of Texans too, you know. So why do you think we have districts?
Well, districts probably have common interests among the communities in the district, so they're probably facing the same problems, the same fundraising issues, probably similar environments.
Exactly. And if you look at this pyramid, you know, you see it's upside down. That makes our clubs and the 1.2 million Rotarians in those clubs the most important thing in Rotary. Because without those clubs, without those individuals like all of you, you know, we can't accomplish anything. But together, we have accomplished a lot, including, I think, polio is going to be eliminated in our lifetime. So I'm really excited about that. But what does the district governor do? Have you all had a chance to hear him speak at your club yet?
He's been to our club. Another thing, I think, go back to your question about why do we have districts? Well, I think districts are important because districts are sort of consortia of local Rotary clubs. And having a district and being able to communicate within that larger group allows us the opportunity to partner with other Rotary clubs, both in the roll up your sleeve, get the work done area, as well as share the financial burden of doing projects everywhere. And I think that kind of then goes up to the zone level and then on to Rotary International. And you have to have those different layers. And what I'm always impressed about is that this really and truly is an inverted triangle. And it's the actual, all of us little Rotarians out there in the field that are getting it done, but we have all these other resources that we can step up to or over to help us join together, do more work, and just be of more service.
That's true, so true. And the district governor did come to speak to us last Thursday, and I was literally mesmerized by what he had to tell us. He spoke about polio, and we've got a couple more years, and if we stay polio free in Pakistan and Afghanistan, we just may be able to lick this within the next 5 years. He told us a lot about the zone. I think our zone, Zone 21, is one of the large, or if not the largest zone in the continental United States. Is that right, Jeff?
I think it is.
And so it covers a lot of territory from South Texas up to, what is it, Wyoming?
Or Montana?
Montana. And so it's really large. But even though it covers a lot of territory, we feel like we can connect directly there with that district. We can connect directly with the district and the zone if we want to, because they have their leadership, and really it helps Rotary International be more organized, let's say. It's an administrative thing. The zone is an administrative arm for the Rotary International. And Rotary International, to me, is all of these above us are cheerleaders. Right, Jeff? Aren't you a cheerleader for all of us in our clubs? I think with what Jeff does especially. Are you going to speak to me, Jeff?
I was nodding my head. Yes, absolutely.
I think it makes us also able to go in and get that support, as you said, Deborah, at any one of those levels. And I'm amazed by the things that happen. But a lot of people would ask you, why is RI necessary? What would you tell them?
Well, I think one of the reasons it's necessary is that any organization that has as many members as Rotary does, we need to have occasionally that point person, somebody who can speak from that very high level as our chief leader in the world.
Yeah.
I think that that's really the job of, one of the important reasons why we have RI. They help coordinate worldwide the financial issues. So I think there's more than one reason why RI is important. It helps us knit ourselves together in those administrative, figurehead, financial ways that it would probably be impossible to do without RI's support and help.
Also, we were talking about leadership with Mary, and leadership, somebody like our RI president, Ravi, could go in and speak to other real leaders at high levels, like Bill Gates, Linda Gates, and all of that. So, you've got this really high visible individual talking to other really high visible individuals. And they can get a lot done that way for all of us there at the top of the pyramid. Okay.
Cheryl, can I interject real quickly?
Sure.
Deb, you're the current president in Hobbs.
Deb.
Deb?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry,
Okay.
I was.
That's okay. Do you remember the your installation and the oath that you took?
I do remember the installation. There was not an oath that I had to take.
Okay. So a couple of years ago, I was being installed as our club president, and it just so happened that the district governor that year was a member of our club. So he installed me, and he had a standard oath that he read, and I raised my hand, and It was fairly official, and he got to the point where he said something to the effect of, and you will do your best to serve the district governor. And I literally hesitated. And it was an awkward moment. Here everyone's watching and they're taking pictures, all this. And I subconsciously hesitated, and I started smiling. And I finally said, well, yes, I will serve the district governor. But all that year I was teasing him because of this upside down chart. I said, you're supposed to serve me and our club. So we need to change that over.
Does everybody hear the echo from Justin? Or when I spoke? I don't know why there's an echo now. There wasn't before.
Yeah.
I don't hear it now.
I don't either.
Okay. That's very, very good. Well, I'm going to stop sharing now, but if you have any more thoughts on that, just jump right in. I think it was Eisenhower who said that plans are nothing, but planning is everything. And so Rotary International has a strategic plan that you can see on the next page or two of your books. And I wanted to point out that the strategic plan, the priorities and goals, if someone could read those to me. Let's see.
Fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership are the inner core.
Right.
And then outside that, we've got focus and increase humanitarian service. And that's upside down, sorry. Enhance public image and awareness, and support and strengthen clubs.
So true, so true. And does that take you back to something we were talking about as why we joined Rotary? It takes me back to all those reasons why I joined Rotary. And let me see if I can get this and share it with you. Is that, for one thing, I'm getting ready to share my screen again. Mary gave us. Doggone it, I keep doing that. Here we go. Oh, food. I'm trying to get it up there. Well, anyway.
Don't make Jeff come over and give you a house call.
Yeah, it's a tough life here in Zoom land. There we go. Now I can reach that share screen. And I want to share my notepad. There you go. So you see what Mary wrote down for us. Our colleagues invited us to giving back to the community. That certainly fits in. Meeting people, the fellowship, the sense of community, doing good things in service. You feel you're part of a bigger, more diverse situation, and people who are helping become family, which emphasizes fellowship. So what they're doing when they do their strategic planning and these priorities and goals, they are really meeting your needs on why you joined Rotary. Let me see if I can get this other one up here without tearing it all apart. Those strategic plans fit in really well with what we want to do. But let's talk about, in that process, let's talk about keeping our mission in mind. You start everything nonprofit. Deb, you'll understand this, Deborah too. Well, all of you will probably understand the fact that you have to begin with the mission, and you have to continually refer to the mission if you're trying to carry out, your nonprofit duties, or serve the people of your community, or serve an organization, or whatever it is. So I'm going to put my other thing back up here. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to take a bite of something. Pardon me.
Cheryl, you said to jump in with any thoughts that crossed our minds, and at my age,
please
things
do.
crossed my mind. We did have a speaker recently, and I forget which club he was from, but he was sort of overseeing, I think, that Guatemalan water project. And when he put up the budgets and who was contributing and this and that, it just amazed me. All the clubs across the area that, you know, Carlsbad was this amount, and Hobbs. It just struck me that, you know, individually, you know, might not be able to do much, but collectively you're able to accomplish quite a bit. And I think that's one of the things that struck me for being a Rotarian.
That's for sure. You can accomplish so much, and I'm inspired every time I hear what we're doing in Afghanistan and Pakistan, Syria. You know, and 80 of those workers lost their lives last year doing that, serving in those countries, trying to get those children inoculated. I thought it was the most interesting speech that Tom Walker gave us. And excuse me, I've lost you again. You didn't lose me, but I lost you, and I want to see you. Are you able to see me? Is my screen up? No, it's not. Hold on just a second. I wanted us to go back and into the manual and look at, I want you to look at some of the, thank you, I'm already here. Look at our mission statement as it is written. Could you read that for me, Dan? The mission statement?
Yes. It says, we provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders.
Have you ever been asked, or like on an elevator or something, you know, what is Rotary? And do you have that 30-second elevator speech, as they call it? Do you have it? And people ask me that all the time, but I have to keep going back to this. Or my little Rotary card that says, what is Rotary? And that we are business people, retired business leaders, professionals, and community leaders that are coming together to promote peace and understanding, goodwill. And one of the things that strikes me the most, and let me know if this is something that hits home with you, and that is integrity. The fact that all of these other people in my club are living by a four-way test, you know, that includes, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill, better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That really does. I'm easily inspired, but I'm really inspired by this because I think it's just amazing. What do you think, Deborah?
Well, I think one of the things that really amazes me about Rotary, and when I attended my first international convention, is when this really brought it home to me, that we live in a very difficult world today, and yet you can bring a bunch of Rotarians from anywhere in the world, and they can get along with each other, they understand each other, they work together, they practice tolerance and have a sense of community. And I have never, ever belonged to another organization like that has done so much for so many. And if that's not integrity, I don't know what is.
That's for sure. And you know, we added one when I was president last year. We said, "Are we having fun?" And I think that's something that we maybe ought to stick it in there somewhere. We're all having fun doing all of these things, working in ethical manner, you know, at conducting ourselves with integrity and that type of thing. I wouldn't hesitate to refer any of my friends outside of Rotary to any one of my friends inside of Rotary in their business, because I know they're ethical. I know they adhere to the same core values that I do. What do you think? Bill, would you read the core values?
Our core values. Our values are an increasingly important component in strategic planning, because they drive the intent and direction of the organization's leadership.
And the core values are, Deborah, read those for us. All the things we've just been talking about.
Fellowship and global understanding. We build lifelong relationships. Ethics and integrity. We honor our commitments. Diversity. We connect diverse perspectives. Vocational expertise, service, and leadership. We apply our leadership and expertise to solve social issues.
I'm always amazed at the diversity of our aging club. We have an average age of 57. We need Deb to come over and visit us. Just to bring down the age level. But it's so many diverse ideas and the experience, a diverse experience that they bring to the table. It makes our conversations very interesting. What do you think about that, Bill? You're in education, aren't you?
Yes, I occasionally dabble in that area. Yeah, I find our conversations at lunch to be very enlightening. Whether the members are younger than me or older than me, we usually find a common area to talk things about. As long as it's not politics or religion and stuff like that, I think we're okay. The other thing that I think that I find is, some of these folks are pretty busy, and yet they still find time to share their fellowship with us, either at lunches or during drives or certain initiatives. And what's the old saying? If you want something done, find somebody that's busy and they'll get it done for you, kind of thing. I think that's what Rotarians generally are. They're generally busy people who prioritize their free time as well as their business time.
It's amazing to me that we can accomplish so much because we are so busy. Are y'all still seeing that screen? No? Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I wasn't able to share it with you, was I? But you have it there in your handbook, and it's really, I don't know. Some people might find it boring. I find it inspirational. I find it interesting. When we're talking about, if we can go back now, I'm going to go back here just a little bit, and I'm going to try to share this screen with you, because this is basically what we're talking about here. This one. Do you see that? Why did I join Rotary?
Yes.
Okay. Now do you see it?
No.
No.
Whoops. That's my family. Introduce my family to you. I'm so sorry. Let me stop sharing here and get you back up there. Do you see that page? Oh, is it showing or is it not?
It's not.
It says my internet connection is unstable. I have an IT man for a husband.
Are you having any thunderstorms up in Santa Fe by any chance?
I don't know. I haven't looked outside in a while. But if you go to that page of Rotary International Strategic Plan Priorities and Goals, these are specific things that we're trying to accomplish. They want to support and strengthen the clubs, of course, but they also want to foster club innovation and flexibility, and by strengthening those clubs, that's one of the things that they've kind of added to our choices in this year, and that is we can be flexible in our clubs with, say, satellite clubs or whatever. Right now, my husband is at a satellite club meeting. They meet in the afternoon, in the evening, whereas our club meets at noon. And they're still a part of our club, but number two, he's not helping bring down the average age. But there are many of them like Deb who are a part of that club that really cannot meet at lunch. Their jobs are prohibited. And also, that's why my husband joined that club instead of our club, is because they meet in the evening. So they're making it more flexible for us to be a part of it. And encourage clubs to participate in a variety of service activities. I find that to be, like, as you said, Deborah, one of the most interesting things, because we can be a part of so many different activities. Where we find our niche is we've got a lot of niches to look at when we are talking about Rotary clubs. And improve the member recruitment and retention. That's why, again, they are making everything more flexible. Develop leaders. Each one of you, they are planning on you. Deb's already leading her club as president. I don't know if you can do much more than that, but you may decide, Deb, to go to a district level or something like that. There's always something for everybody, and whatever. She's going, no.
Good for you.
Now, Jeff, but they want us to start new and exciting clubs, and they want to encourage us to strategic plan. Do your clubs have strategic plans? You know about? Tell us about yours, Deborah.
Go ahead, Deborah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Deb.
I haven't reviewed it in the last year, so I'm not familiar with how it may have changed. But there was a strategic planning process, and we all provided input, and we bring it out during club assembly and make sure that we're headed in that same direction, and we change it. I mean, a strategic plan is a living document. And so if you find that what you've initially put into it is not working for your club or your area or your community, then you need to change it. And that's something that we have done in the past. So it has helped guide us along the way, and it's helped us realize that we do need to change it occasionally.
Exactly. Deb, what were you going to say?
Our club does not have a strategic plan, but it is something that our past president and myself, we have been working on implementing it. We know that it's a living, working document, and it takes more than one person to put that together. So we're hopeful between her, she's very task oriented, and so we're hoping that my past president can help get our club up and running with that.
And I want to applaud you because you indicated you didn't want to go to district level because you want to be a good follower. So she's crossing those roles between leader and follower.
That's perfect. Bill, does your club have a strategic plan?
I'm going to assume that we do, but you know what they say about assuming. After our president was installed, he gave his 4 or 5 things, his list of what he wants to accomplish, and then when we have our monthly board meetings, we sort of give status reports on how far along we are and things like that. So
yeah,
we verbally outlined what we're trying to accomplish this year, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know if we have like a 5-year outreach or a 10-year, here's what we're going to be. I think we're sort of in a transactional stage here.
It took us a lot of time to get all those people on the board together to try and come up with something that could serve us. Fortunately, the year before I was president, there was a strategic plan put in place. So when I came up as president, all we had to do was review those things, make the changes we wanted to make, and we found it changed quite a bit because we were further ahead in some areas like membership, but we were further behind in other areas like our public relations and telling the community what we do. So, but we've readjusted now, and hopefully we can be Large Club of the Year again next year. Now, I tell people that, yes.
Just a time check, you have about 5 minutes.
Okay, great. That'll work. We are really interested in being that Large Club of the Year again, but our main thing is being able to serve the people in our community and the world, and the people in maybe just our partners in Mexico, those clubs down there that need our help so desperately. And so its service kind of takes the cake in our club. What about you? What do you think your clubs are particularly interested in one area of service? Now, those areas of service are what? Vocational service? The 5 areas of service that we talk about in Rotary, and your 5 areas of service in your clubs, I would imagine, You've got vocational service, community service. You've got club administration, club service, and service to youth. Did I cover all 5? Jeff, were you counting? Anyway, I think I got them all.
International service?
International service. I did forget one. You bet. That's right. So sometimes clubs will take on a certain persona. And do your clubs, do they pay attention to all of those areas, or just some of the areas that you think are more important?
Well, we're focused on community service through an annual gala that we hold every year to raise money for nursing scholarships. And we like those nursing scholarship candidates to come from our local community. We have been involved in the past internationally, and I think we're still involved in the project internationally. We try to keep our hand in that. And youth exchange. We're involved in youth exchange. And also we are one of, I believe, a couple of clubs that together sponsor a Rotaract club.
Oh, yeah.
So that's youth, new generations, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I mean, there's more.
Yeah. We're more complex than that, but that was a good capsule. Deb, what about you? Are you leading your club in a particular direction?
You know, I actually am, because one of the areas that we are not focused on so much has been youth service. And so kind of being a younger generation myself, I see that that's something that is very important to the future of our Rotary Club. And so I'm working very closely with my youth committee to bring that up, because it's just not ever, it hasn't been over the past few years. And then, and now we are in the works of our big international project with La Paz, Bolivia as well. So.
Fantastic. Well, Bill, you want to give us the final ideas here now?
Well, yeah, I think our club, we try to do as much stuff for the local community in terms of education, like scholarships. And I mean, there's a lot of facets to the club. I don't know a whole lot about this RILA stuff where we ship kids off to the camps and things. And we do have an exchange student. I think last year he was from Norway. He was a very interesting speaker. And so, I mean, I think that's what we want to give back to our youth and our community. And I think that's what most of our fundraising is geared to.
Thank you all so much for being such good participants and not going to sleep one time when we're talking about missions, goals, and plans and things like that. I really appreciate it. It's been fun being with you.
Thank you very much.
If you all need it, we can take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
I think I will get up and go more places this time.
Joe, are you still with us?
Yes, Jeff, I'm still with you.
So while we're on a break, what are your initial thoughts about how the Zoom is working?
You know, in general, this is only my second experience with Zoom, and so I myself am trying to get used to all the bells and whistles. But it's working well. I hear everybody well. I see everybody well. There seems to be getting the share screen seems to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think that's just something that is going to smooth out as you go forward. But it's a great tool. It really is. And I think it'll work well for the purpose. It really will. Now, were you expecting a larger participation tonight?
We had 7 participants registered. Mm-hmm. And in the half hour before we started, 3 of them sent me an apologetic email.
Okay.
One of them was having intranet issues, and 2 of them thought that this was part 2.
Okay.
And they had already taken part 1. So they bowed out. Tomorrow, if no one bows out, we should have about 7 or 8.
Okay. Yeah, it should be interesting to see how the dynamic changes as we get a bigger audience.
Right. And what we're waiting for is the breakout rooms feature of Zoom,
right,
where if we have a larger group, we can split them into smaller groups.
yes,
But that module is not out yet.
okay, yeah, but I think overall the experience seems to be very smooth.
Thank you.
I think it's working well, so I'm going to continue listening. And I'm biting my tongue because I would love to be participating with all of you, but that's fine. Listening is good too.
Well, and given we're a small group, Joe, feel free to participate if you would like.
No, I tend to, it's